thing. Welcome back to another episode of The Gateway. After many internet hurdles, we're all here. And in the beginning of the Wave Echo Cave, or the Lost Mine of Phandelver, as you guys are exploring some of the excavation tunnels that have been dug out looking for more ore in this mine, you guys came across a Okashur jelly and a bunch of dead sturges. You guys took a little bit of time taking out the Okashur jelly. Parthenax got a whiff of something draconic kind of coming from further up the cave. All of you guys stand in a very muddy tunnel as the water has just like soaked most of the dirt around you guys. Everybody give me an acrobatics check to stay standing up from all of the everlasting urn water soaking up this hallway and making you guys stand in a bunch of mud. The sounds of water, though, continue through these halls as you guys can hear just waves crashing and water churning from deeper in the cave. Sela, what'd you get?
22.
Nice. Niken?
I actually got 13. I'm kind of shocked.
You guys hear Niken slip around in the mud a little bit, and it draws your attention, but you guys are having a real hard time kind of picking him out, the dark shadowy figure with the mud around him. Hex, how did you and Ami do?
So I got a 5.
Oh no.
Yep, I definitely fell on my butt.
You don't have very far to
And-
fall, at least.
With that, I would say Ami got a 7. He's a little bit better.
Okay. You slide and slip, but manage to grab onto Ami, who's doing just a little better than you. Seems
Take
like
us both down.
he's like sinking kind of just slowly into the mud. Not like quicksand status, but like a couple inches down.
I would like to note it was only 30 gallons.
Yeah.
Only 30 gallons.
Parthenax, how'd you do?
I got a 21.
Wow. Standing strong. It's those big feet.
I like to admit, like, I don't use a full Misty Step, but I like a muddy step about 3 inches above the water.
You know what they say, big feet, great at balance checks.
Yep.
So you guys have a couple pathways before you. Hex, you were handed the map from Sela. So you do have a pretty decent idea of how this place is laid out. What is in any of these rooms you don't know, but you do pretty much know where you guys are going.
Okay. So I don't fall prone or anything.
Maybe you did, but you were able to pick yourself back up.
Okay.
You're not like stuck in the mud laying down.
Maybe I missed it. Do we know what caused that vibration? Did it feel sudden?
So it wasn't any vibrations. It was because the tunnels that you guys are in are muddy now from the
Oh,
urn of everlasting water that was sprayed on the Okashur jelly and stuff.
okay.
Oh, how did Everly do?
She got a 7.
Oh, okay. Everly is down in the mud with Hex, even if ever so briefly.
Did she get the opportunity to rage now that her clothes are dirty?
You were thinking of Brenna.
No, I'm thinking of Everly.
Oh, okay.
It was a joke. It was a bad joke.
Okay. I totally missed it.
No, she loves her clothes. And now she's covered in mud. Sorry.
So, man. Okay. So, after that fight and after we kind of get stuck a little bit, Hex is gonna take the extra time to pull himself out. Hex actually never really focuses on his shoes, so his shoes are pretty awful. I would like to imagine that they're just caked with mud. He hasn't paid any attention to them, so he's actually like squeegeeing the mud out of his boots. And he is unstuck. Well, at least we got through here. I suggest we go this way, and he'll kind of more carefully walk his way to the, if you're looking at the map, the right entrance.
Well, you know what they say, the right path is the right path. Let's go.
Guys, damn it, wrong one.
Hey, Nick, can you give me control of Everly, please,
Yeah.
on my account?
Yes.
Thanks.
Sella's gonna put away the jar of everlasting water and kind of blush as much as an elf can possibly blush. That did not go to plan at all.
Is that ever ending water? And I'll kind of take a closer look.
Yeah, it is. It's a
Do you want to spray my boots a little bit?
I'll probably just make more mud. Why don't you ask Parthenax to prestidigitate you?
Stand back.
Would that work with mud?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
clean-
like
Can-
to imagine, like, I go to prestidigitate you, and it takes off like a layer. Like, I was not expecting to need like the extra duty, the Gojo elbow grease version. So now I'm just taking like the glass staff, like it's like one of those airport wands, and just.
I was gonna say, maybe if you clean me all the way up, I would be pretty dapper, but I'm a very dirty person.
I give
so-
up about 60% of the way through. Like, yeah, you're clean, but you're not done up.
All right.
There's some iconic dirt that just is the hex.
Yeah.
That's the hex dirt.
I don't want to make a dirty old man joke, but it's there.
It is all there. Think of Ami. I'll shield Ami's ears.
Okay.
All right. So with that said, describe my surroundings.
You guys are still in a dugout cave. You know that these caves are usually dug when looking for ores. What the fuck?
It's probably not real. It's just trying to sell you the product.
Yeah, probably. Norton giving me warnings about stuff. It's a little bit drier in this part of the tunnel. You can tell that the dirt has been somewhat disturbed in this area. It was a little bit fresher from where you guys had first broken through the wall and kind of come out, found that Sturgis. But the dirt has been definitely disturbed a little bit as you guys have come through here. You can't really make out like a number or anything, but it seems like it's been disturbed. That's really the most I can give you off the bat. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's more than enough. So you watch Hex as he suggests this path. He's a lot more cautious as he comes up to the entrance of the break that we see. He got surprised last time and took some damage. So he, though he's very happy for the prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
Thank you. It was a hard word for me. He's also a little bit more cautious. So he kind of like peeks around the corner that we can see here. Once he sees it is clear, based on your description, he's going to walk forward a bit with Ami on heel. And let's
You
see.
can see just
Um,
you can see just up ahead as you move. There is the body of what seems to be another Sturgis, kind of left in the hallway here. This one, very clearly dead. There's blood splattered kind of up the wall. Much less subtle killing than the other one.
how is, can I do a, boy, I don't know what check it would be. I want to sniff the air to see if I'm getting any scent other than the blood splatter.
That would be investigation.
Yeah, investigation check.
So 14 for me.
You can tell that there's probably another Okasher jelly in the air. The strange sickly smell still lingers in this area.
So I will make sure that the team is aware of that. If it wasn't obvious that I was a little bit slower with my approach, I look where I think our rogue would be. And I've kind of picked up, he disappears, but he always shows up in the nick of time. So I'm gonna kind of say blatantly, "Psst, psst, Niken, are you around?"
I'll appear right next.
Just for my own self, I'm gonna roll.
I was gonna say make a stealth check, and I can just for fun.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that would scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Summon
Maybe
him, he will
insight.
appear.
So luckily, I feel pretty good with a 19 on insight. He pops up next to me, and I'm like, oh,
You like
All right.
you know it's him messing with you though. What was your
So-
stealth? Out of curiosity, Niken.
21.
Okay, yeah.
So primarily, okay. Niken, I think there's another one of these things up here close. I'm smelly, I'm loud. I think that's why it attacked. Can you check out? Let's have you start with the right hallway.
The area that I'm at, kind of.
Let's double check that. Yeah, so let's have you check this way.
Okay. As I move up, Nick, can I investigate? Like, do I see any slime, any like trail?
Yeah,
I
go
can
ahead.
roll
Go ahead,
investigation.
go ahead and do an investigation check.
Oh, hell yeah. I got 23.
Okay, so as you go up, you can see that there are some stairs up to the left.
Quick
And there's a
note,
hallway that goes
music
forward.
is a
Little
little loud.
Sorry,
This.
my bad.
Pretty good.
It's like most of that track is quiet, and then it gets loud right at the end. And then the hallway goes off to the right as well. At the end of this hallway, you do make out that it looks like there is a live Sturgis kind of down at the end. It doesn't quite see you yet, but you definitely see it as you go down to investigate at the end of the hall.
Okay. I'll say that to my team, but I'm gonna move up a little now.
Also, side note, I don't know how to, thank you.
Do exactly that.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, as you move up, you don't see any jellies or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just the one Sturgis kind of down at the end of this hall. As you do approach, if you do get closer to it, you can tell like it seems like it's eating the body of another Sturgis.
Maybe it's a good one.
Oh.
It's like I'm afraid to leave things alive around you guys because you might make them pets.
It's a very,
no comment.
very fair.
Don't blame you.
Okay. Yeah, no, I see this vicious bat lizard thing just eating one of its own kind viciously, and I'll just like tap Sal on the shoulder and like, do you want that for the menagerie? You want to bring that one home?
I would say it would probably be kind of hard for you guys to see from back there, but the joke stays. It's fine.
Okay.
I typically frown upon cannibalism, but thank you for the offer.
Even predators eating predators. That's not bad.
Well, no,
That's
that's
not fine.
it's not good, especially if we bring home that predator and we have a bunch of carnivores. So
Go ahead and give me a stealth check, and I can.
Sturgis eating the horses.
I got a 23.
Okay. Yeah, you still feel incredibly hidden. How far away from this thing are you getting before returning to the party?
Debating right now, to be honest. Can I cast a blur? Is that possible before I fight?
Yep.
If
Yeah,
I'm gonna
especially as you're
cast
coming
that.
to this thing, you'd be able to do that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm stealth and I'm blurred on top of that. And so what it says is, for the duration, any creature has disadvantage on attack rolls against me. And the attacker is immune to this effect if it doesn't rely on sight.
For
So
sure.
hopefully this one doesn't. Because it's like a bat, so I don't know. Maybe it can hurt me.
I'm pretty sure they need their
Definitely.
eyes. But
So you did say that you see it, you see where it is, you're
Yes.
relaying it back to us.
Yes, and then I kind of went stealth mode and I'm gonna move up. And if it's allowed, I'm gonna move up and I'm gonna sneak attack it, if that's fine with you, Nick.
If that is the case, I'm going to ready an action.
okay, yeah. He tells you about some stuff down the hall.
I'm getting a fireball ready as soon as Niken hits it. Or fireball. Gosh, I keep saying that. Firebolt. I'm gonna firebolt it.
Here's maybe a better picture of what these things look like, by the way. They're like skeletal and just really gross. They don't really have legs. They mostly have wings and kind of arms. Like mosquito-like beaks.
That's terrible. I don't
pretty
like
cool.
it. Kill it with fire.
They're gross. So yeah, go ahead and roll an attack, and then you'll have advantage because you got blur.
Sneak
Blaine.
attacking.
Yeah, sneak attacking. I'm gonna use my daggers. Ah, shit, that sucks. The first one is a 12. Does that land?
I don't know. That misses, unfortunately.
Okay. I'll do my next one. What's that? 26.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that definitely hits.
Cool. Now, the sneak attack, do I miss that opportunity because of my first attack?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it kind of would. It's like
Yeah.
the first attack kind of made it aware of you being there.
I'm gonna roll for damage. 2d8, 1, 6. 2.
Gross. Yeah, I've been saying it wrong. I don't care.
I was saying Okasher instead of Oker.
That's pretty good. I got a 20 on that one damage.
Ooh boy.
Nice. Yeah, the
That's
sneak
pretty
attack-
good.
That's pretty good, yeah. And
The sneak attack doesn't get it, but the
no, it doesn't get it, yeah.
But yeah, this other hit definitely. It just like emaciates it. Is there any particular way you want to kill it?
Yeah, there is a way, but I had another question. So how were we gonna do the poison thing again too?
It is immune to poison damage.
Oh yeah, okay.
I hate to tell you that one, but
No, you're good. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be all sneaky like, go up behind this creature, and my first hit, I go and try to stab him, but it kind of like misses his head. So it's like, you know how when like a mosquito flies by and you hear it go zzz, like that? Like basically that's how that creature was. Like he kind of looked, and then I got him with the second one, and I got him like in the back right here, like in the shoulder blades, and I'm just gonna hang on to him.
Gross.
At-
All right.
And I'm pretty sure my teammates like saw what happened. Like, oh, there goes Niken, kind of thing. And I'll end my turn.
Niken goes killing again. So
Yep.
That's so Niken.
So yeah, you take this thing out, and that was basically it. Like it was
Shit.
kind of a run up and gun on it. As you do move over here, oops, reveal.
Oh, I killed it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
These
Okay.
are not. These are not.
Yeah, that's
strong-
why I said 20 is
Oh, that was
pretty
so
good.
much damage. Yeah. No, yeah. You can kind of see, just kind of in the darkness, there is a doorway back behind this thing. There's more rock that has been dug out. And then there's a pretty long tunnel that goes down this way.
Those stairs are going up or down towards
Up.
our up.
Yeah.
So, watching all of this happen, Hex definitely subsides his firebolt. He is going to move straight forward along with Ami and kind of pause, scratching his head and then scratching his beard, looking at the map.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to try and discern, or like a specific location that you're trying to find?
Between us, I've got it, but for role-playing purposes, that's where I'm at.
Okay, for sure. So you're, yeah. So you're kind of just at the bottom of the stairs. So you guys are sort of towards the end of the trailings. There's actually like a path. I keep getting that word wrong too. I don't care. There's actually a path where like stones are kind of set in before these stairs that go up. And then off to your right, there's a little bit of stone pathway that leads up to the door on the other side of where Niken killed this Sturgis. So it's like you guys are kind of moving towards some of the more furnished, actually lived in parts of the mine.
Yeah, you see Hex, again, kind of look it over. He turns the map a little bit, gives it a different eye. It's kind of just looking it over.
Okay. Did you send me something and I'm not?
No, it's on the other players.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. You guys are all planning something? I got you. Are we passing notes?
I
Not to me.
I kind of want to kill time. So I'm just gonna start poking around in what seems kind of like the least helpful direction. So I'm just gonna go over towards Niken and be like, yeah, damn, you got that one. And then kind of peek my head around the corner. What's down here?
Just another long hallway. With your dark vision, it's kind of hard to see all the way towards the end. Damn it. I did not
Oh,
mean to
that's
put more
right.
dark. With your lack of dark vision, it is kind of hard to see all the way towards the end, but it is just a longer hallway. And you can make out, though, that there's a bit of a tunnel that goes back this way. You suspect, though, that that's just going to loop back where you guys were at.
Gotcha.
So with that, Hex definitively points on the map and So he's gonna move forward to where they are to allow more vision.
As Hex moves up, you can kind of tell that he and Ami are giving off just like this very little bit of light, but like just enough to help out and let you kind of see a little bit further towards the end. You guys can see that there's yet another just massacred Sturgis at the, damn it, why does it keep doing that to me? At the end of the hallway. It's just like it's been exploded.
Okay, so pretty sure I have this figured out. This door here, and he'll reference the map again.
Mhm.
I think this leads to just a chamber, whereas those stairs we just passed, I think that will lead us further. I'm not exactly sure. I'm still trying to figure it out. That's what I think. What do you guys want to do?
I figure.
So
Go ahead.
chambers are normally filled with treasure and or horrible monsters. Seeing as there's a bunch of murdered monsters around, I feel like our chances are good for treasure. Does that read?
Well,
Yeah,
I
we-
know it's away from the scary drowning noises.
Yeah, right. That's not where I would put treasure. What's in this chamber?
I think we should check that door first.
Check for traps.
Is it the one next to me? Oh, by Everly?
Yeah.
Rolling an investigation. Oh, hell yeah. I got 26.
Yeah, it doesn't seem locked or anything like that. It actually seems like somebody had already kicked it in recently. You go up to check it for anything, kind of, run your hand along sort of thing. And yeah, it's like the workings of the lock have just been like pushed out and the wood has kind of been like just shoved back in place so that it looks like it wasn't kicked in. But looking closely at it, yeah, this door was just shoved in at some point. Smells really bad from the other side for everybody but Niken.
I'll tell the members that. I'm gonna go on through actually. I'm gonna walk
Okay.
through it.
Okay.
I'm
As
about to
you-
walk with him, and then that stench hits me. I'm like,
Yeah,
whoa.
and you just stop, and then he keeps going. It is fine for him. You walk in, and there are yet more corpses, but this time corpses of corpses. You see that there are 3 ghouls in here that have just been absolutely slaughtered. Old stone bunks in orderly rows line the walls of this chamber, and a corroded iron brazier full of old coals stands near the middle of the room. The bones of half a dozen dwarves and orcs lie strewn about, clad in scraps of armor. 3 gray corpses are among the bones and scraps of bodies. So it seems like there were some ghouls that were chilling out in here for a little while, and then something came in along and just took out the ghouls.
Okay. So while the party does whatever they may in this room, I would like to check the bodies again for what killed them. I'm trying to decipher. I know I had a broken neck before. I'm gonna look at these as well.
So go ahead and do a medicine check.
I assist.
Yeah.
I will assist you, which I think means
Do
you
you-
get advantage.
Yeah, either you roll with advantage or you roll also and you take the higher.
So-
one. It's up to you.
Got a 19. That's pretty good. I
Okay.
can roll again.
Yeah. If you want, try for a 20.
Nat 1. So let's go with the 19.
All right.
That sounds good.
That was a good use of a nat 1 on advantage. It seems like these have been cut open with a blade. You can tell the difference between the bodies that have been not, or like the bodies of the dwarves that are in here that have been gnawed on and bones like chewed upon. But the ghouls have definitely been taken out with a blade. You can tell like an arm is just cleanly missing from one, and like the chest cavities just split open from a couple of like really decisive blows.
So the cuts appear to be pretty tactical.
Yeah.
I'll kind of grumble as I'm checking these bodies out, but I won't necessarily say anything.
Okay. You guys that are in this room just see Hex kind of grumbling around, squishing through the gore and debris in this room, kind of just trying to put stuff together.
Can I investigate the room to see if I find anything just in general? Treasure, maybe another map, keys.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oh, so close. Oh, wow, that's good. 24 on that.
So as you start looking around this room, you don't find anything other than the fact that somebody else has found stuff. It seems like this room has been ransacked. They didn't really take anything that you can tell. There's still like a fair amount of food and dwarven clothing and just supplies in here. But yeah, it's just kind of been rummaged through.
So at this point, you watch Hex completely destroy all the goodwill you put in with your prestidigitation, and he wipes his face and he's covered in blood with his hands. So he just wipes it and he's puzzled. He just scratches his head. I don't get it.
I like to think that that's the moment I walk in. Like I finally decided to walk in and you're just like in this viscera, just, yeah, that reads.
I don't get it. So a neck was broken back there. These wounds are very clear. And he'll kind of, you hear like gross body sounds as he kind of really digs in and like pulls up the severed arm. These are clear. These are clean and tactical.
Oh, please stop. I think it's safe to assume there's probably more than one person with more than one type of weapon.
DM, can I make a deception check to pretend like I'm clueless and I haven't known what's going on since like the first one?
Yeah. Everyone else make an insight check. It was bad, huh?
Yeah.
18.
20. Unnatural.
I'm the most
6.
deceptive one in the group, but it never works out when I
Need it?
need
What
it
did
to.
you actually get?
I got a 9. I rolled a 2, but I got a +7.
My.
Ooh, wow.
I'm just I don't know. This is very surprising.
So I've
I
got a
don't
19.
know. I did not see this happening in this room at all.
So with a nat 20, Stella's just going to cross her arms and turn to you. What do you know?
I've got a 19, so I feel like I'm pretty aware. There's a little bit more.
Parthenax.
Hey, Sebastian. Everly has a helm of telepathy. That's what her class is.
Oh, fuck.
She can cast detect thoughts at will.
Okay.
Honestly,
So, I guess I'll tell you guys what I'm what I'm gonna say, and then I guess what I'm thinking. So I guess I'm just gonna kind of kick up against a wall and be like, "Yeah, man, I don't know. This is crazy. These caves, man." And in my thoughts, I'm like, "Oh fuck, my brother and all his goons are here." I was hoping I was trying to put this off. I wanted to go to Neverwinter. Give me a couple of weeks, maybe a big sword or something. Now we're here. Shit. And
Did
verbally,
you-
I'm like, I don't know. What?
Did you tell us about that draconic smell?
No.
Oh,
What- all the stuff he told me, I'm not sure if you remember, but he's like, do you respond any of that to the group? And I said, no.
Okay.
I had forgotten why you guys are flipping each other off. I was kind of like, what the hell's going
Sorry,
on
I'm
here?
not used to
that's
it.
Your,
I'm-
that's
Sometimes
your,
we
yeah,
lose the moose horns.
yeah. Yeah, the
I
winner
was
or
wondering
whatever.
about the flipping each other off too. I thought it was just
That's-
a tick.
I've
That's-
just
no,
always
that's-
done that. I'm sorry.
That's your meta speak signal. That's when you're like, so this is out of character kind of thing.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Huh.
I'll try to remember that. We had
Either
a,
one. Either one is
ragtag-
fine.
Either works.
Easy, I forgot. It works.
I
figured
remember,
it out.
Brandon. Hex, I remembered.
Thank you.
Sorry. Enthusiastic. Okay. So now we all know what Parthenax is thinking.
Well, I guess
mean-
Everly just says it out loud, and I'm like, well, hey,
I was
whoa,
gonna say,
whoa,
Everly
I'm
would have had to
thinking
have,
here.
Called him out pretty hard on that one. Like, just been straight up. What do you mean, your brother and his goons, or something like that? Like, yeah, it would have had to have been some word vomit. But
Then
I
I'd
feel
like-
like I feel like that's what's happening. I feel like this is a party little meeting where it's like, okay, hang on. I actually should have said this. This just occurred to me, Hex, as you're investigating the way that these bodies were killed. It's like overwhelmingly familiar as to the way that these bodies have been killed. You have definitely seen this shit in battle when you're on the battlefield. Like,
Okay. Do I recognize that as?
yeah, that clicks as,
Okay.
as this is kind of going down. Parthenax is being like, oh, what do you know?
Yeah.
You're kind of like, wait a minute, I've seen more. Wait, yeah.
So Hex still doesn't say anything, but you see him whip out the map and he's kind of like drawing, like he's picking, it's gross. He's like picking blood off of his face and he's tracing some of the lines and he like gives a good beard stroke and then he does it again. He's not saying too much yet.
Stella connects one and one, and all of the blood just drains from her face. She goes completely still and completely pale.
See, this is why I didn't say anything.
Would you have preferred I just walked in on him and then froze? Because that would have happened.
What are we running into here, Parthenax? You really gotta tell us here. Cause the way it's looking, I'm unsure of what we're exactly running into.
Well, I don't know. Let's keep it simple. Hi, I'm Parthenax. Zir Parthenax of the Parthenax family. And I'm going to spare you guys, but I'm stalling here. I'm not like, you know, I'm trying to go on and on. I'm guessing someone's gonna be like, get on with it.
I'm gonna ready a mage hand to slap you. Since I
You
probably
see it.
hit your face.
Hex's hands crinkle a little bit on the map he's been studying, and he glares in your direction.
Okay, well, I'm sure we've all been aware at this point. My brother sort of conquered a couple continents and a large island, some various emirates. And he's here. This is what him and his crew do. He usually travels with an entourage of magic users. He's a little sore about the fact that he can't use magic. Couldn't. I don't know. I haven't spoken with him in a couple of years. Yeah. So he's maybe like, I don't know, the most powerful dragonborn on the Sword Coast right now. So maybe we might want to plan or something. I kind
And
of
you-
wanted to not come here right now. I'm going to look at. I kind of wanted to go to Neverwinter maybe get, I don't know, a dragonborn killing gun or something. I heard this word gun. I like it. I really like the word gun. Have you heard that? It's a city word. Anyway,
You
I'm just anything. I'm like going on
City
tangents
word.
anywhere I
Okay.
can.
No,
You
I'm gonna-
thought just now to tell us this. And he'll stand up in his mighty 4.5 feet and walk over to you. Not scared, but very abrasive and looking up to you. You thought just now to tell us this? And he'll tap
Do you
you
want to make an intimidation check?
Roll assist.
again.
Against my what?
Usually wisdom,
Yeah.
Just straight wisdom.
but this was also out of curiosity for me.
That's a nat 1. Guys.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's the second
Yeah,
nat
you
1.
just like poke my kneecap. Okay, bro.
You thought just now. I'll poke your kneecap. You thought just now to tell us this? Why wouldn't you have told us this?
Well,
You knew
okay.
what we were getting into.
If
I
we knew this
wasn't
ahead
sh-
of time, I wouldn't have pushed us to be here trying to save the Rock Seekers. Now they're probably dead and it was all pointless.
Let the dragonborn speak.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say.
Listen, I hear what you're saying. Were decisions made? Yes. Were they the best ones? No. This is why I appoint other people to do things for me, because I'm not the best at these type of decisions. But you have left me to these type of decisions on my own, and therefore bad outcomes have happened. Did I know this was going to be 100% the case? No. Did I feel it? Yeah. Are my feelings wrong? Are my feelings often wrong, Scylla? Once again, I'm just trying to put the conversation anywhere else.
She stays dead silent and she just stares at you.
Yeah, see,
Ah,
I am wrong often. So we could get all worked up about this before, and then it'd be nothing, and we save a dwarf, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, you got us all pumped." Or it could be the thing.
you see Hex visibly upset, but he gets his wits about him. And he kind of thinks for a second. What do we need to know about your brother that we don't know? Because it seems very likely after this room, we're going to walk up those stairs and we're going to find him.
Well, he's one for grandeur. I'm guessing we're gonna have to face a thug. He might be watching in like a big throne.
You see Hex get even more visibly upset and like scratch his head.
Right now, what are our chances
well-
of survivability and should we run?
What do we know about my brother? He tried to marry Scylla. So maybe we should ask her what we are getting into.
I've never met him. I've
Still
literally
just, like,
never met him.
passing that buck.
I was
I
literally
love it.
told
I am a
I'm
delegate.
so
good,
the
so
old
good.
woman to be sent to another kingdom, and I ran away. I ran fast and I ran hard, and I didn't look back. I've only ever seen a portrait of this guy and heard Hex's stories, so I don't fucking know. Scylla doesn't curse, so
That worked.
So where did you meet Niken along the way?
I stop right there. That's enough for Hex. He's going to visibly get so upset by the situation that he not going too far, but he heads with a very long-winded sigh towards the door we just came out of.
Hold up.
There's a door on the opposite side of the room too. Just to,
DM, is there anything that I should tell them to know? Because, to be honest, I
what
don't want
weapons
to,
he wields.
just
You
because
could-
he's my brother doesn't mean I know the bad guy stats.
right. You would know that when you guys were training together when you were younger, he was willing to do anything to win and to get on top. He never he never liked the idea of somebody else winning or beating him. So he'd do pretty much anything to accomplish his goals, kind of thing. There isn't anything. He was a very, very proficient fighter, is probably one of the biggest things. He spent so much time training with weapons and trying to be the best possible fighter because of his lack of magic innateness, being a dragonborn. You do know that Parthenax, you definitely would have known and probably told everybody that he spent a lot of time trying to harness magic and find ways to be able to control and use magic in one way or another because of that. So being here could be kind of a tip to that maybe he's
Trying to make himself magical.
something.
Yeah. So, how is our relationship? Is he jealous? I'm guessing, obviously, he's jealous of the fact that I'm a sorcerer. Is he? Does he not like me? Where did we leave off? I know I haven't seen him in a while.
You guys were never like best friend brothers. There probably were a couple of like good memories or times where you guys did get along, some good sparring sessions. He taught you some stuff. But if he was jealous of you, he never let you know it. You figured, you probably knew that he would be because he, couldn't do any of the magic stuff you could. Anytime you'd show him a new thing you learned, he'd seem very like detached and not very interested. Not the nicest older brother, but you guys weren't exactly enemies. You didn't leave off on like I hope you die out there kind of thing.
Gotcha.
It
Yeah.
was more like, it was like a see you later, dick.
How much older?
He's about 20 years older than me. Like maybe 14, 15, somewhere like that. That's what Nick could describe. I didn't make this character. Just
It's a crazy amount of age difference. You wouldn't have grown up together at all.
Well, not for
Very-
Dragonborn, though,
Very
right?
briefly. There'd be some years shared, but
he would have been around in my developmental years. That is for sure.
yeah.
Do I know this guy?
So he definitely led the army that sieged your homeland. You never saw
That's right.
him, but he definitely had a lot to do with the killing that went on. Something that Hex you would know, and maybe let everybody else know, is that you guys mostly fought half dragons. There were just forces. They look kind of like dragonborn, but they're very clearly like mixed with some other race. It's like a dragon and then something else. But those were like the kind of enforcers that you guys dealt with, and then otherwise it was mostly like kobolds and other just draconic kind of creatures.
Okay.
But the biggest thing you guys dealt with were half dragons.
I'll definitely take the time while we're in the room. Hex will like put up his arm, on the door cell, and relay that information.
Other than the viscera, this room would seem like a good place for a rest if you guys needed one. So it's not a bad place to like mark on the map or come back to. Seems like it'd be pretty easy to seal off or anything like that.
Good point.
They already knocked the door in once. I'm not sure what good we could actually do.
Just straight eating those. The candy.
They are candy.
I guess they are.
They are candy.
So I will take the time, as it seems we're not being attacked in a good room. Should we move down?
I think all we're going to find in this place is the dead corpses until we get to the room where all the baddies are.
There might be, I mean, it's a cave, so I don't know. Niken, what do you think?
think we should probably rest.
Oh,
I've been hit also, so.
Oh, I rolled for
Zella?
yeah, Sella
What's-
packed you guys all bags. I totally forgot. I'm sorry.
I made up
So-
packs for everybody before we left with essentials, and then I also rolled for potions to see how many we each get.
So all of you have a backpack with like some basic rations and at least one potion of healing in it. There are 4 extra potions that like Sella spent some time getting before you guys left town, and then Ignacio gave you guys 3 superior healing potions to kind of split up or hold on to however you guys need.
Zella, what do you think?
I still have the staff of healing, but we should at least make sure that Niken's back at full health. Because you took quite the blow last battle, right?
I did. I took enough of
Yeah, no,
acid
exactly.
damage.
If, when we face off against the other Parthenax, I want to make sure we have all the charges on the staff of healing. So let's make sure we have the potions used first.
These are all good ideas. And see, these are why you're the decision maker.
Were you talking to Sella or Jessica just then?
What's the difference?
Okay, so Sella's just going to level a glare at you and then focus on everybody else again. I think we also need to very closely consider whether or not we want to continue being here.
I never wanted to be here. Just
No.
saying.
But I think we need to vote. Do we run or do we stay and try and keep Parthenax from achieving whatever
Well, okay.
magical goals he has here?
Here's the thing. If he's here at the Forge of Spells, we only have a limited time until he becomes crazy, ultra powerful. You aware of the term level up? It's a draconic term.
That's a draconic.
But, I mean, if we stop him,
And we stop him.
we would have the Forge of Spells. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do we have the resources at hand to actually take him on in fair combat?
I don't. Here's the thing. We've reached an existential moment. That doesn't matter if we have the tools or not. We're here and we have to stop him now. These corpses aren't that old. That means he can't be here too long. There's only a certain amount of time before his thick meat head unlocks whatever key, door, arcane, occult puzzle needs to happen to give him like crazy superpowers, power word kill.
If he has not done it yet,
If he hasn't already.
yes, it's do or die.
Well, it was nice knowing you all.
Get out the violin.
Well, I don't have one of those. I do have a lyre. I'll pull that out instead. Did you actually have a request or?
I
No.
put your head back. Look, I think we need surprise on our side. We don't need to go in there yelling and shouting.
We have that. That's good. Niken, I'll point where I think you might be.
All right. Well,
Okay.
everybody,
Let me pose this to you guys. How are you going to kill me? Because it's my brother, right? You know, it's me, a little bit bigger, less magic-y. How are you going to do it? Get in the corner.
You're gonna do it.
Well, we got to come up with team strategy here. Like, how are you going to kill me?
are we
Good
pulling
question.
Melon Lord here or
What?
Melon
What are
Lord?
your resistances? Do you have any
Oh,
resistances?
that's personal.
It's personal.
We are resistant to fire.
Okay, so Firebolt is out for me.
Yes.
I mean, no, that's really good information, actually. We know not to use fire against him. It won't affect him.
Well,
We
I
can
mean,
focus our power other
kind of hurts, but not really.
Kind of hurts, but not really.
How- That sounds so off. How would you kill yourself?
Oh my god.
That sounds awful.
Hmm.
Would you have any tips for fighting your brother?
Well, he doesn't like magic users. You might be able to piss him off. Maybe if he's frustrated, he might get distracted. You all are a magic-y bunch.
This is true.
See, we could have been a traveling show, the magic-y bunch, but now we're here at the end of days.
Yeah, we're the after party, about to be the post after party. Sela's not happy. She did not plan on dying the first time she met her fiance, so
We're fine. It'll be okay.
If some of us do die, we should have enough money to bring you back.
I might be able to bring
I
you
brought all of
back.
our cash with us, just in case.
none of us can cast the spell required to bring people back from the dead.
After a long rest, I might be able to, but yeah, at the moment, I do not. And even if I would have to check.
You know, my parents one time took out this insurance policy where if their children died, a paladin of Bahamut would come and revive them. I wonder if they still have that.
Okay, well then that's settled. We send you in first, and you will die. Because we can bring you back, right?
Okay.
Whoa, I did not like the way this conversation is going. I'm not
Well-
feeling here, guys.
This took a dark turn too quick. Go
Yeah,
back. Go
it's
back.
like- Whoa.
I think what we could do is have you lead. I think you would be a perfect distraction for our sneaky one to get in. But we're not even there. Do we want to check out the rest of this? It seems like we can come back and rest in this room.
This is
It's true. I'm worried though about expending resources we don't need to, trying to figure out things we don't need to when we know who our enemy is and we know we have to find him anyway. And the more we stall, the more he has a chance of completing his task before we have a chance to get it.
I think my intentions have been made clear about wasting time.
You like wasting time. You love wasting time.
The longer Parthenax goes before he has to see his brother, the better.
I do have a weird idea. Parthenax, does your brother bargain?
Well, not really. He takes.
All right. I'm trying to.
What is your idea? I mean, I am crafty. I know how to push his buttons. I know how to lie to this man.
My idea is this. He still considers me fairly valuable for whatever reason. If it comes down to saving your guys' lives, you could try to trade me.
We could maybe
Worst case scenario.
maybe we could fashion. I don't know. Would it make sense? This is hard. This is actually a really good idea.
You guys are having way more character development over this than I thought you would. I love it. I love it so much. Don't stop.
Because if it left off on, did you run away from him?
Yes.
Well, not from him exactly.
Potentially, we captured you. Does he know of us? Does he know you're part
Does
of
he
us?
know? Yeah, okay. Does
As
he
far
know
as-
that you ran away? Or were you in like delivery? Did you get lost in transit?
FedEx is a bitch nowadays, so.
I believe he does know I ran away because I left without trace a couple days after they told me I would be leaving to marry him.
So-
And as far as I know, my family thinks I'm dead, but that doesn't make me any less valuable of a bargaining chip.
I
Everly
would-
kind of pipes up and lets Sella know that the family doesn't think that she's dead.
Mike got kicked. You might have to accept him.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll pause.
No, you go ahead. It's probably gonna take a minute to come up. There we go.
Sorry about that.
It's all right, man.
We're talking about the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lord knows I know internet problems. Anyway,
Yeah.
Everly did just mention to Sella that the family does not think that she's dead. Sella said her family thinks that she's dead, but they know that she's not, that she's alive. She let everybody know.
Then the other
Okay.
part, Max knows I'm alive as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
she wouldn't say where you were though.
Which is
I
So-
would never recommend this, but I feel like we're stepping around this idea, and I maybe just want to combine some ideas here. This isn't my recommendation. Parthenax is not the one saying this. What if I brought Sella in like I captured her and am bringing my brother's wife back? Once again, this is not me. This is your guys' idea. You sort of separated it. I'm just trying to combine
I'm-
something. I would never do this.
I'm saying if it matches up with our stories, that might be a very interesting way to take it. It would give us very clear sight on what it is we're exactly dealing with. You are his brother. You could try your best to be persuasive.
if I act along,
Not a bad idea.
if I act along, I think we have a chance. And at the very least, that gives us a little bit of an advantage when it comes to, I don't know, surprising him.
Definitely. That gives our assassin some really, really good points in getting in there. Because, yeah, he's not necessarily going to be expecting that.
No. not-
Okay, what if Niken is my hired right hand assassin? Sella's the target. Hex, I think we got a problem.
How smart
Yes,
is your
you-
brother?
Okay, well, here's the thing. Is he good at math? No. Can he command a battlefield? Yes. So it's really, where do you define intelligence?
I have an idea. If we can get close enough to wherever he is without him noticing us, I can cast that illusion spell that I have to hide the rest of the party until
You
they're
could
ready
do
to-
that. You could do that as the victim too, I think, right?
You
It's
know what?
concentration.
It's not a concentration spell. It's a single cast. It takes a single round, and then it lasts 24 hours. Or unless I discontinue the spell.
Wait. I have
So
an
I
idea.
change the battlefield before we even go in.
Oh, this is fun. Good job, guys. Let's figure this out.
What if, Hex, we put you and Ami in a chest? We get a treasure chest. Sella, you can paint a treasure chest.
Mhm.
Me and Niken, the two bounty hunters, bring in the bounty and treasure as tribute for my brother. He goes to open the chest, no him in a fucking box.
Surprise,
Jump
and
out,
then
bites his fucking face.
And
then
Everly.
you cast it.
We also have to put Everly in the box.
Gnome
I
wizard.
think-
That's another really big problem, as she's your cousin.
Yeah, I would say have her hold back actually.
No, we need everybody there. Could we disguise we'll talk about this when she's a player return. Could we disguise her in some way? Maybe some exotic garb so she looks from like a far land.
Well, by
Please,
hold back, I
love
mean,
you.
just let this play out and then if things hit the fan, she just pops in.
Yeah.
It's not like they're gonna see her outside of a door,
We don't know.
potentially. Yeah, if there's not
I would
guards.
rather have everyone present.
I don't know how to.
The illusion is probably the best way to hide her.
Yeah. Or I
There's
have
going
a
to be a
disguise
bunch.
kit.
He travels with a bunch of wizardy folks.
I have a disguise kit.
You have a disguise kit. Yes.
I can literally, I mean, she's gonna hate changing her clothes, but I can change her hair, I can change her clothes, I can cover her ears. Obviously, she'll still look elven.
We'll make her look like she's from Icewind Dale or something.
Yeah, or like a wood elf. Like I can make her look like Niken, and they can be partners,
Okay. Okay.
be bounty hunter partners.
Yeah,
Two
it
assassins.
would.
That.
It
I-
would
I-
make sense to get a bounty and to get his fiance that we did have a party, right? So they
Yeah.
just don't need to know how big the party actually is.
Yeah, we do also
Right.
know that he's already sent bounty hunters after us, or after me at least. Remember Enos?
Innis.
Crazy.
Innis?
Oh, the crazy little gnome.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was a
I
bounty
forgot.
hunter who was after me, but she decided
that makes sense. I
to
like
run
it.
the idea. So if we have me caught by two bounty hunters plus his brother, then it makes it look like you were just hired by my family. It makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. And Parthenax would just play up the fact that, hey, it's been a long time. I have, you could act.
I can.
I assume
shit
he's
out of it.
evil. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've brought you your bride and her dowry.
And a bounty.
Mhm.
We're here to join you. Haha.
I once convinced him that cats didn't exist. It only lasted about 32 hours, but it worked.
But it happened.
And if so, out of character, if I'm assisting you on a deception roll, because I'll be acting too.
We are the two persuasiest, deceptioniest people.
Yeah,
I should have said no. I said that in character. We're the two persuasiest, deceptioniest people.
maybe not the highest.
Common is my
intelligence
second
people,
language.
but yes.
I love that you're also the nobles. Like,
Nobles is fucking
Like-
around making plans.
That sounds like a pretty solid idea.
Another
To
advantage we have is I'm 100% sure my family does not know I know any magic. 'Cause I didn't-
Exactly. So worst case, you can.
Everly asks why.
Hmm?
Everly's like, why don't you want anyone at home to know you know magic? I thought it was great.
Well, I mean, they will eventually, but they don't yet, because I only started using magic after I left home. I was screaming in the woods one day and I blew up a tree. It was pretty fun, but then the next time I cast magic, I almost killed Parthenax. That's a long story.
Don't bring it up.
He's still salty about something that happened like 2 months ago.
I am salty about something that happened 23 years ago, and I am 23 years old.
Okay.
Was it being born? I'm sorry. That just sounded like that's what you were talking about.
One of the servants tilted my egg, and I'm still a little bit cross about it. They say that's where my temper comes from. Then I wonder what they did to my brother. Okay. Anyway,
Dropped him
so
a
we've got a plan to get in there. Provided it works, we need Niken to disappear. I think that's the best way for this to happen. I think
Agreed.
he can come in as part of the entourage, so he's not trying to sneak in. So we can get him in the door. Then we need to have something that happen so Niken can start sneaking. Maybe
Me popping out of a box is going to be pretty distracting.
And if I
I
cast-
feel, yes, sorry to cut off anyone.
No.
I feel like we might want Niken in position before that happens.
Yes.
while I'm pretending to be a helpless prisoner, I can cast hallucinatory terrain.
There's going to be wizards galore in there. We got to do this
It's fair.
as mundane as possible. I'm talking, if we're going to disguise Everly, we can't use illusions. It's got to be real cloth.
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
agree.
Hallucinatory terrain doesn't change any of us. It would change the layout of the cave in the eyes of our enemies. Like when I change,
This could I bet this is going to get dispelled by like 4 different dudes.
it doesn't
That's-
it won't give us an advantage at the very
He
beginning.
rolled deep.
Exactly. They at
Just look-
at the
start to use-
core, I think it's going to be surprising.
And they do
I
still
think
have to
they are
use-
going to be shocked.
Sorry, they do still have to use a full round action to try and do wisdom investigation check to break the spell. And even then,
Okay,
You're-
but you have to cast it, and that's not going to happen. He
Because of
hates
counter
magic.
spell.
There's going to be
Yeah,
at
it'll
least
be like
3
a
dudes, if
counter
not more, that are just going to dispel it like that.
can I cast?
We also we're not exactly sure what's gonna happen. I agree. I think there will be wizards, but if he doesn't like magic users,
Contradicting
I
himself.
mean-
Yeah.
are they okay on his side as long as they're not against him?
You remember the crazy old wizard that made all those zombies?
Yes.
Steve?
He was one of the people he kept around.
Okay.
I wonder when Vince would come and help us.
He might join him. He probably still works for him. I don't know why you let him live. Don't get me started. I'm gonna get too loud and you'll hear me.
We
You
talked
hear me.
about this. We do have a communication stone for Vince.
Okay.
Or is
Well,
that for our Xanathar?
Yes.
Oh, we have one for Xanathar. My bad. You guys want a beholder to come and help us?
yeah, get the beholder. What are we
He
even
was-
talking about?
He was the one who asked you guys to go kill him.
Niken, you
Yeah,
have
well-
an air elemental.
Yes, I do.
Niken,
This might be the opportunity.
Yeah,
I also have McFluffy.
very true.
You can't dispel McFluffy. I'm just going to make sure I have that ready. McFluffy will be in my hand. It'll be first thing I
So-
do as soon as I can. Yes.
So I have a question. That necromancer, wasn't he being controlled?
He was under the control of Xanathar, or Xanthar.
Vince ended up being a good guy who just lost his mind. We
Yeah.
helped him
Yeah,
restore
so-
it.
So what I was trying to go with, his entourage, his people, Parthenexes, are they controlled? Do we know this? Or are they doing this on their own?
He pays a lot. I mean, he conquered a couple of continents.
Okay.
That's an unknown.
Safe to assume, but that's a good question.
Because
Clearly,
I was
good-
thinking if they were being controlled, maybe we can free their minds and then they can help us they can be on our
Yeah,
side.
they wouldn't necessarily be happy that they were controlled.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if they're being controlled by fear or paid for by money, those can be two incredibly strong loyalty factors. It doesn't really matter what you're faced with.
I do think we've given it a fair amount of thought, but we don't know. There's a lot we don't know.
We have a plan to approach him at the very least. We've got the groundwork for that. At this point, we need to figure out how to get to him.
I'm betting on there being wizards there. Yes, my brother is a martial master, and that was somebody to contend to. But being a magic-based party, if we can't cast any spells, we're really hosed. We need some way to get all these wizards to expend their spells.
Not a bad idea to have Sella cast that, and
They have to
it
use
worked
this
so
spell.
well the first time. I don't know if it would work so well.
But it's worth the chance. Because they still
I
have
think
to
so too.
add a character. They have to waste a round trying to figure out what it is in order to dispel it. They have to waste a spell to dispel it.
Then if we throw down McFluffy and the air elemental, they've got 2 more big things they have to focus on.
Counterspell is a reaction though.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Counterspell happens in reaction to you casting a spell. So it's like as soon as the magic kind of
Does it cost a
you
spell
are
slot?
doing the thing, it does still cost a spell slot, but
Then worth
I
it.
think
Yeah.
we really have to focus on getting their attention, getting the party that they see on their side. Because if it goes really well, I mean, maybe your brother's really excited. It's been a long time. You've just given him a bounty. You've given him his fiance. Who's to say he doesn't take that in stride? And maybe like host a feast or something.
That's something
Okay,
I want to put forward.
That is a good point. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sal.
If it comes down to it, if we don't have a chance of winning, but actually handing me over would give you guys a chance to infiltrate his system, actually hand me over.
Yeah.
I'd rather risk that than have you all die for nothing.
Well,
What about Hex though?
I'm in a box.
yeah.
Yeah,
Prisoner of war.
Here's my
yeah, but is he gonna keep him?
no. So we're gonna put a Hex in a chest, and then we're gonna pour the team funds on him. And we'll give him like a little straw. I got a golden straw in here, or in somewhere to breathe out of. Ami doesn't need to breathe. In fact, Ami can look like a piece of treasure just in there.
I could probably use Ami somehow to breathe. Like I breathe in through his mouth and there's the tail for the straw or
Yeah.
something. I'm crafty. I could figure that out.
We could even have Everly cast shrink on you. You'd be the size of a doll. It'd be pretty easy to hide in a case of treasure.
Then she's got to unshrink him. I think we want a full size Hex deployed and ready to go.
Just
Yeah,
in
it's a
case.
Race of a spell. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
So ideally, we don't like go up to him and then surprise just start attacking them there. Yeah,
Yeah.
we want to,
Play it out.
as long as we can until that moment comes. Niken will disappear at his first chance. That seems convenient, but we can. I mean, he does that all the time. And when we say that, we won't be lying. I don't feel like I should have to make a check to say that Niken disappears all the time.
Yeah.
And then it's up to his goons to try and find him. Good fucking luck.
All right.
Oh shit, he's right there.
In that case, my hair's been dyed brown for a while now, so I'm gonna ask Parthenax to
Minor illusion. Plop.
just take the brown dye out of my hair with
I
prestidigitation.
think I could just press it. Did you take the brown out?
Yeah, just
That color didn't work for you, girl.
I know, but it had to be done. No more disguising. I'll take it out of the tight braids that it's been in, just floof it all up.
We're going back to like, this is like the season 1 art.
Yep. Season 1 Sella is back and very recognizable.
Some will call it fan service, but we've all been waiting for it.
Oh, I'm also going to take the wanted poster out of my bag of holding and I'm going to give it to Parthenax.
when
Okay.
when she hands it to you, you see that the bounty for it was like 1.5 million fucking gold pieces. Like your brother was trying to drop as much coin as possible to find her. And it's like for a moment you're kind of like, I wonder if he'll actually hand this over to me.
That's even better. Giving him that and a bounty, he's
Yeah.
gonna be
Well-
pretty excited.
You guys realize that this is actually just my money, but my family's money. So we don't actually get this.
Right.
But Niken would.
Make
Niken
a
and
make a
Everly would.
deception check.
Yeah.
That's a 25.
Wow.
Also, it wasn't your family who put out the bounty. It was mine. Remember?
No, thank you for that. Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's
I
true.
rolled a 25 on
Yeah.
deception. Don't be like don't be bursting my bubble.
Everyone still believed you though that Xanthar put it out.
Yeah. But then I'm like, wait a second. No.
Rats.
Does the truth, does the absolute truth
Gonna
just break
bet.
deception?
No.
No? Okay, well, either way, it says on the poster, the family of House Venus band is offering the reward. So it's like, no, it's not hard to match with money.
My answer stands. He's gonna be very stoked to get what he's getting here. As long as we play it right, I think this is a really good idea. It buys us some time. I don't think they are going to immediately dig through the gold. They might open it and see gold. That's awesome. It's heavy enough. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so this saves our bacon if we can't do a fight, and it also gives us an advantage if we can do a fight. We should have a signal for which one of those routes we're going to take.
I think it'll be figured out as soon as they realize there's a smelly gnome in the bounty chest.
Oh, how'd that get there?
We gotta bury you deep though. Like they gotta
Yeah,
dig.
yeah.
I brought all of our money.
We have to find the chest.
Stella can
We
pick
don't
one.
He's
have a
getting-
chest.
Stella can make
She's
one.
gonna draw it.
Easy. I
Oh,
pulled
okay,
the-
okay.
I pulled the wondrous pigments out of my pocket. Hex, stand here. I'm gonna paint it around you.
Okay.
You guys are doing this right now.
Well, I'm just gonna.
We're gonna make it. No, we're not gonna do it right now because I ideally we want more people here and probably do it at the beginning of the session when we start something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the preparations of the chest and we can talk this over. We have a foldable boat.
Yeah.
I left that at home.
Oh. Good
In
plan.
theory, though, a chest shouldn't be our biggest obstacle.
No.
Okay.
You're pretty sure, Hex, that there's a chest somewhere in this mine that wherever they kept some of the magic items they were making and stuff.
Although a fancy chest might have a nicer effect.
It would probably be a pretty fancy chest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
she just
I
draws
can-
a fancy chest and then the things so that Niken and Everly can carry it on their shoulders because they're the servants.
That's fair. Okay. I have the design in my head.
Okay.
We'll do it a little bit closer to do the thing time. But
Good.
I can spend the paint on that. That's not a big deal.
Okay, let's say, I know this is a great plan, but the forces that be heard all of this and don't want us to do any of that, and he starts attacking us as soon as we come in the room or thereafter. We should have a plan for that.
It's fight.
Fight
It's
like
fight
hell. Don't
time.
lie.
Protect the glass cannons should be. the
Which is
mission.
all of us.
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
it's fight time. I don't have a plan if it goes that way, other than fight.
Well, actually, Hex, you'll be the.
Use
Maybe-
the use the air elemental is kind of one of the plan A's, and then also the.
I keep wanting to say
Big
Yeah.
fluffy.
McFluffy. Yeah.
You been watching Critical Role?
I
Maybe-
memes.
Call what's his face.
He's not
Can't
going to
get
help
the
us.
beholder
He's
Maybe
in
Hex
his
should have all of that stuff in the chest. Even if from the word go we start getting attacked, Hex can be in the.
I don't know.
It goes. If we all go down, he can pop out and has got the big boys with him.
Say hello to my
Also-
little friends.
I mean, it's possible.
I think we
I
got it.
have the wisdom.
Neither of those items have to be attuned. I don't think.
No, you
yeah.
just have to say the right words for the owlbear.
Yeah, I'll have to write down the incantation for you.
Hex, do you know Elvish?
The good question.
I know Italian.
Common
I'm
and
not-
gnomish.
Common gnomish. Okay.
You only know Gnomish? Yeah, it might be a little bit difficult, but not impossible.
I could learn it. I assume I can learn a word.
It's a sentence, but I think you're good. You'll be good.
Let's do a quick break here. Like 10 minutes. Be back at like 41 or whatever. Gonna use the bathroom really bad. And
All right.
good
You
planning
do-
session. I think this is actually kind of cool. I didn't expect you guys.
We
to
haven't.
spend
Yeah, we haven't
time.
really.
I was afraid to do it because we just revealed all of our plans, so they're probably not going to work now.
Yeah, right. The DM's just
No,
like, oh,
I don't want to
no.
do that. No,
That's
I don't
not
want to do that
happening.
to you guys. No, what's the point of the planning if it's not gonna work?
Right.
See y'all soon, guys.
Okay.
And a good bait.
It's got me cold. I think I put in my 2 weeks just at the right time. I won't have to deal with the really shitty winter nights and stuff.
I'm like totally gone, and then it finds me, and I'm there. And then if I disappear, I can slowly come back, and it won't. I'm invisible until bam. Yeah, see, it didn't get me until bam.
I wanted to like interrupt you guys' planning process so many times just to like keep things moving along, but I was like, no, this is good. This is cool that they're like planning stuff out. It makes me feel like I have made the character more real to you guys. So yeah.
How do we dupe this guy?
Yeah. I wrote a monologue. I wrote an evil villain monologue. Just so you know, it's not changing. No matter what plan you guys have, I'm not going to change it up.
do we like? I don't know. The trading Sella for your guys' lives thing is she's very serious about that. She doesn't want you guys to die.
Share 'em. Do you have, random kind of question, but do you have a favorite evil villain monologue?
The guy from Blade Runner, the final, like the boss clone, like you'll never believe what my eyes have seen. That whole rant.
Oh yeah, that is a really good one. I like it's not necessarily an evil villain rant or monologue, but it's the same kind of thing where the end of Inglorious Bastards, where the French chick is burning down the theater and her face is all in the smoke. And shit, that one's pretty dark. It's hard not to like Syndrome's monologue too, though, because that one's just so.
For the
it's so funny.
Incredibles?
Yeah, where he's like, "You sly dog, you got me monologuing."
That's good. I like that one. I watched too much Sailor Moon as a child, so I hate all evil villain monologues.
Oh yeah, they did that a lot, huh?
It's just so long. It's like 10 minutes of nothing but monologue. It's like, just kill them already.
You spent all this time looking at hot chicks. Now you have to hear the villain's evil plan.
Okay, well, I mean, the hot chicks weren't a thing for me.
Yeah, that's just how the writers feel when they're writing the show.
I'll
Yeah,
see that.
I was just gonna say, Nick, I was watching Sailor Moon at an age where, like, yeah, you're not really attracted to girls yet. And then, yeah, once you got to that point, yeah, they are cute, but like at that point, it was almost nostalgic for me watching the cartoon. I never really thought of Sailor Moon in that way, just because of the age I watched it.
Okay, so similar for me, except that there was a kid in my neighborhood who was really into printing out anime porn and stuff like that, and like bringing it to the neighborhood kid meetups. So like, I was exposed to Sailor Moon in a different way before I was ever actually exposed to Sailor Moon.
Totally.
So it's just that for me.
I like the fact
Okay,
that it's really written by women for women. There's nothing like
It is supposed to be for women, which is kind of why it was weird to me that he was into Sailor Moon until I saw the hentai stuff he'd print out, and it was like, oh.
At that age, it's like, okay, now you think back on it, the characters are an age range between 13 and 16.
And this was this was before I needed to be seeing porn and stuff. I had to have been like 9 or 10.
Well, the characters are between 13 and 16 because that's the most marketable age in Japan. It's not a pedophilia thing by the creators. That's why there's anime tropes and whatnot. Like you'll see the same stereotypes, archetypes, like instinct tropes and whatnot. It's because that shit sells in Japan. That's why they do that. It's like part of the art form. The antagonist is a boy or a girl in the teenage years. They're usually going to school. All those sorts of things. That's what really works in Japan. That's why they keep doing it over and over and over again. Like crass example, Goku in Dragon Ball, he was a kid. Once it moved to Dragon Ball Z and he was a man, they had to bring in another kid. So he had a son who, started a little kid, but then once again became a teenager.
I hate all of Dragon Ball Z except for Piccolo and Gohan. I really like Piccolo and Gohan.
Gohan was always my favorite character as a kid. I did name a lot of my cats, like Bulma was one of my cats. Bulma. And Icarus was named after their dragon.
Haha. I had a cat named Songo when I was a kid.
Sebastian, do you have a favorite evil villain monologue?
Do I have a what?
A favorite evil villain monologue?
No, not really. And to be honest, the way that I think about villains, they're a little different. Like most villains are not actually villains; they're the good guys in their own minds.
Oh yeah,
Except the Joker. The Joker is just pretty fucked up.
that's chaos incarnate.
Yes.
Chaotic evil.
Yeah. Like Magneto.
He's
Magneto
not
felt
even,
like he was
evil though. He's just like pure evil. He's just evil, chaotic.
straight chaotic.
But yeah, no, Magneto's a good example where he like has that whole redemption thing where he keeps trying to redeem himself. Actually, on that note, Apocalypse's fucking monologue from X-Men Apocalypse. Jesus,
Apocalypse.
I got you.
that one's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Same with God damn it, Ultron from the Age of Ultron one.
I was gonna say that's another good one. Ultron was a really good villain.
For in the end, everything will be metal. You guys missed the devil horns. I don't know about you, but like when I saw that in theaters for the first time and he finished that line, I was just instantly like, yes.
Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian. He does it like he monologues several times, but they're all good. And it plays to his character well. Like sometimes villain monologues seem out of place. It's like, why haven't you fucking punched him yet? But Moff Gideon, he just seems like the kind of person that monologues if someone's standing too close.
Yeah.
By the way, he was here this weekend. There's a Comic-Con going on right now.
Oh, cool.
I was so tempted to go, but no one, like, I don't want to go by myself, and no one didn't want to go with me, so it kind of sucked. And then Goku and Vegeta, the actors, they were here too. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
I already saw them. Actually. I have a set of Dragon Balls, and they signed my Dragon Balls.
Cool.
Yeah,
Pretty cool. Fucking William Shatner's gonna be at the Comic-Con.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not a huge like Star Trek fan or anything, but that dude's getting really old, so I'm kind of like maybe I should get an autograph while I still can.
He's in his
It will-
90s, I think.
yeah. I was gonna say I miss Stan Lee. He was 97 or 98 when he passed away, and about 5 years ago, maybe he was at a Comic-Con in Dallas. And I was tempted to get his signature, but I think it was like at 180, 190 to pay just to go and meet him. I was like, that was a little too much for me, but now I regret it because he's gone, you know?
It would have been worth so much.
Yeah.
Maya.
My dog dropped his bone on the stairs and I couldn't see it because it's a black rubber bone. And as I was stepping up the stairs, I tripped on the bone and totally ruined my teeth.
No.
Joys of owning a pup.
Your dog's name is Finn, right?
Yeah.
Was that like an Adventure Time thing?
For me, yes, 100%.
Okay. The hilarious thing about that for me is that Finn, the human, for whatever reason, is like, it has always reminded me of you. In the back of my head, like when I watch Adventure Time, I'm like, Finn seems like Brandon, kind of.
I can
could
totally
see
see
it.
it.
Not even the hex foreshadowing with losing the arm.
Oh yeah.
No, did you do that because of Adventure Time? I did not. Well,
I just
you got a lot of
thought-
things- I don't know. You're still Jimmy. Hex is Jimmy Neutron.
To me, I don't know. I'm brand new to Artificer as a role, and it just seemed so cool to have a made up arm, like an invented arm.
Totally.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty crazy connection I didn't even think about. I almost wish that I had given you a plant arm now. It just worked out so well in the other session while Damien was DMing, where you had asked about that, and I was like, yeah, let's make it happen, and I'll make
Such
it
a
a
brutal
surprise.
message to get. Just
It's
like
so
fucking main hex. It's cool. What?
it's so funny because I mentioned it. I was like, it would be really cool, maybe if it worked into the story, let's have me lose my arm. I think that would be a really cool plot development too. And then Nick was like, yeah, that is cool. And then all of a sudden, like an hour and a half later, you're like, yeah, you grabbed that stuff. Your arm's gone. Very
So-
quick moving.
It played so well because he had already mentioned earlier how like there needs to be a magic item to hold that item and all this kind of stuff. So it's like if nothing even had to be changed for it to be seamless.
No.
Awesome.
Also, we never got to it, but we still have that rod, and this is really up to you, Brandon. I think the idea that me and Nick had is Ami could eat it, or it could be combined with Ami, so that all the dust that's in Sella's bag, he could be like a shape-shifting metal defender. Like if he needed to be a small pterodactyl, he could be more than just a dog. He could change forms. Once again, that's up to you if you want to feed it to your dog or not. But that's just the idea that we
had
had.
mentioned that like a while back, but
Who
It's been-
who hung on to the rod? Does does Hex have the rod, or did I have the rod?
You have the rod in your bag.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I left it at the manor.
yeah, she made a point
That's
to leave
fine.
a lot of like really important stuff like that back at the manor.
You
so-
put it somewhere where Lucky couldn't play with it, right?
I put it.
Yeah.
I left it
careful.
in
Dog
the
the
ear of
fishman.
Aldermath. I made sure that Aldermath knew that I was leaving very important things behind, since he's our basically housemaster at the moment.
We come back and he's missing an arm. You touched the thing.
You
We
touched the
told
thing,
you.
didn't you? I told you not to touch
Oh,
anything in my
God.
room. Just like Aldermath is missing an arm, maybe
Yeah.
both hands. Like,
Yeah.
did you go in
That
my
would be
room?
hilarious.
You never go in a
We
woman's
know.
room.
Touched it with your foot.
You're caught no-handed.
Oh, my.
I did tell him that there were important things in there, dangerous things in there, to guard that room, but not to go in and like.
So, as you guys are having this kind of conversation about maybe what's going on back home, you guys have been resting for a little bit. If you guys need to use some hit dice to regain some hit points, absolutely do that. Unless you guys want to do like a full long rest here kind of thing.
I was
I'll say
gonna-
that
I don't think we have 8 hours to waste.
okay. I was going to say you guys have been resting for a little bit, kind of just taking it easy, not really doing anything but talking, maybe walking around this room a little bit.
So essentially like a short rest.
Yes.
Okay.
So you guys can regain.
Can you
So-
remind me again how
that
re-rolling?
works?
Yeah.
So you have a certain amount of hit dice that you can work, that you can use in between long rests, and that depends on your level. So you should have 7 hit die. For an artificer, it's like a D8 or a D12 or something. But basically, when you go into where you would do the long rest, you just click short rest instead, and then it'll ask you how many hit dice you want to use. Use those, and then roll it, and then you add that
So,
total
man,
back to your health.
it actually makes it so easy for you. I just noticed short rest at the top and it tells you everything. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yep. Are you doing okay? You need some water.
I've had water.
Cool. Thank you.
So as we're short resting, I've got an illusory drink, I'm guessing, just for my own amusement. And I think our more sneaky members of the party should try and scope out the situation at least a little bit. See what we're getting into, don't go into anything. Obviously, don't get caught, but where might they be? I'm guessing it's going to be some large chamber magic-y thing. I don't know. We got to figure out where they are so we can at least know where to go. So we're not just wandering through these halls with a chest or something.
So it's either out this room to the top left in this case, up the stairs, or we can go down.
I have
Either way,
I have a question. According to the lore we know, what's the source of the magic?
you cut out a little bit.
Oh, what's the source of the magic in here? The forge of spells, what actually is it? Like, do we know, or is it just like we're looking for a forge that has some magic?
You
I
don't
summon an
Oh.
illusory encyclopedia and I flip through it. Do I find anything?
know.
Yeah.
Or just
Okay.
spells.
I take off the little illusory glasses.
Would I mean, can I roll an Arcana?
And Everly do a history check.
Everly definitely can do a history check. Hex, I will give you history or arcana. Hex, you roll with advantage because a spell forge is a very gnomish thing. It's something that kind of has allowed you guys to make a lot of the magical trinkets and stuff that you guys have.
Okay.
Everly got 11.
She's read the
I got a
term.
20.
Okay. She's read the term Spellforge before, but it's definitely not something that she's like super familiar with. With a 20, you know that a Spellforge is a natural like wellspring of magic. It's kind of like when you find a gold vein in the ground or some similar precious metal. It's like,
But with magic.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'll relate that as well.
So we kind of have to make a determination whether or not it's going to be near the water or away from the water, essentially. Because the water is very clearly the other direction we came from.
It is where we are at least, with this new staircase. It doesn't seem, at least to Hex, that it is directly in front of us anymore. It definitely seems like, if stairs are built, maybe they took this route instead. That said, I mean, we didn't check out the hallway with the water. Hex just is not a natural swimmer, so he's very scared of swimming, of water.
That's fair. Then maybe it's a good idea to follow the architecture. The more like built stuff there is, probably the closer it is to the most important part of the mine.
From what I've seen, looking at the map, that makes sense to me.
You
There
guys-
is also going down.
Going down? Okay. We can do that too.
You guys would know at the very least that you guys are just at the entrance, and whatever this place was protecting or forging is probably going to be in the deepest regions.
So one of the corners. Away
So we
from
need to be
where
going
we-
down.
Yeah, we've got 3 corners to pick from then still.
I pick the closest door because it's the closest.
It would be the one that you came through.
Oh, I meant sorry, this one down here.
For sure.
Oh, hey, we can just follow the bodies.
I would
Let's see that.
still recommend we
I'm a
check
fast
it for traps. I don't think there are, but Niken, can you check that real quick before we open it?
Sure can. Let's see. 22.
It does not appear trapped.
Is there even a door there? Is it just like the hinges and a little bit of door?
There is a door. This one has not been opened.
Okay.
After you have Niken check the door and you open it, It actually doesn't open quite all the way. You open it a little bit and it's kind of like kind of sticks against something. You're also greeted with a very similar stench of like iron and blood from the Sturges. Strigs?
Sturge.
Sturge.
So plural would be sturges.
Strigossi.
Strigossi. Good.
Okay.
But yeah, you open the door, pushing a little bit more, and there are a couple of different hallways and another dead Sturge. Gross bony.
So-
bone.
How well would I understand this map?
You would understand.
Veins, not necessarily like this. I felt Hex would have a really hard time because it's no longer, like dead ends and in mining.
Right. You would kind of be able to discern that like one area is probably for storage of raw minerals and raw goods and stuff like that. One room was used for actually purifying and forging the metals. You can tell that there's a water wheel that they use to kind of power stuff. You can tell that there's what looks like a workshop.
Okay.
There's a couple of different spots that seem like they're actual rooms that would serve a purpose.
So once again, Hex will walk out of the room right next to the dead. I'm gonna call him Strigossi now. And
There are
do I hear
there are more of
anything?
them. You actually walk out this way, and it's a little bit easier to hear. The water is a little bit quieter. It's not quite as loud, but you can tell that there are just several of these bodies when you come out this way.
So I'll see the bodies, I'll look at the map. I'll point to the, what would that be, east, and say, well, I don't see a dead body here. Let's go this way.
Sounds good.
Do you need anything? You okay? So you guys start going down this hallway. It is much more furnished. The halls are definitely built, and you guys go up, dang it, until there's a dead end, but there's also a hallway on your left, which I assume you guys would check out. And there's another room, and the hallway kind of continues down before opening up to another room.
Okay. Give me 1 second. So yeah, I can see, I have 60-foot dark vision.
The squares are 10 feet and not 5. So
Oh, right.
that
So
would be,
up
that'd
to,
be doubled.
okay.
Okay. So you could see up into. Nope. Okay, so you could kind of see up into the room. It appears as though there might be another dead body, and it kind of opens up a little bit more going back.
Okay.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Sure.
So yeah, you guys would also be able to see in here. It is kind of like a little bit of a carved out kind of room. There's a door. And let me read a thing. The eastern wall of this chamber has collapsed into a mass of rubble. To the north, a door stands ajar, leading to a good-sized storeroom. Dusty kegs are tucked neatly against the walls, all of them cracked and split from age.
Looking at the map, seeing what I see. I'm going to nudge Niken a little bit to maybe we should check out that door.
This one.
Yeah.
Step on inside.
As you walk into this small room, well, you actually wouldn't smell it. Never mind. You do hear, though, the really gross sound of an Okashir jelly unsticking itself from the ceiling as it comes down upon you.
Shit.
Should have been a little bit more careful. Dang it.
Yeah,
It was my
it's okay.
fault.
Okay. Okay. Where's that stat block?
I'm in the back, like, what's going on, guys? I can't see anything.
I'm in the back. In the dark.
So
Uh,
X will. So is it safe to assume it hasn't noticed Niken yet?
oh no, it did. It came down from the
You
ceiling.
just can't smell it.
It like unstuck itself from the ceiling and came down.
Okay.
Um,
I'll let the group know quietly that
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
that's all. I just want to let the group know what's going on.
Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I still have my blur going on?
We did take a short rest. How long is it active?
That's right. No, it's done then. Yeah.
Okay. So 10 and 2 for 12 points of bludgeoning damage and 6 points of acid damage.
So 18 total.
Yes.
I disregard. No telling. I'm jumping. Gosh dang it. I'm jumping right in
Okay.
once I see this.
Okay. As it attacks and does a surprise round, I'll let you get up into the fray, kind of as you're like sort of ready to action because you were watching this happen, ready for Niken. Let's go ahead and do an initiative. Keep track of everything.
I got an 11. I'm faced the other way.
I was right in front of it and got a 4.
I only got a 10. Which means
Everly
I
got it. Yeah, Everly
Oh,
got 10
wow.
also, and I got 13.
Okay. I'm gonna
Does that mean? Okay.
ask for those again here in a minute. Who got above 20? Anybody?
No.
Okay. 15 to 20. 10 to 15.
I got 11.
Niken got 14
Okay.
10.
and 10 for Everly.
I have the higher dex.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what did you get, Hex?
I got a 4.
Okay. Niken, you will be up first.
Okay. As I see this, did I get? It's acid, right? This creature.
Yeah.
That it's resistant to?
No, I'm just asking what it's made of. Kind of.
Kind of like a goopy jelly-like amorphous acid kind of. Yeah.
Okay. Where's that? Okay, I'm gonna cast my my shadow blade. Does it just happen? says you weave together threads of shadow to create a sword. This magic sword lasts until the spell ends. It counts as a simple melee weapon with which you are proficient with. It deals 2d8 psychic damage on a hit.
We did determine it just happened.
It just happens.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's also an action to cast that spell. So then you have to use your next turn to attack.
Okay. So, okay, I'll do that. I'll cast my Shadow Blade,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna Misty Step above, like on top of him, coming down as
Okay.
a bonus action. I can use a Misty Step as a bonus,
Right. Okay.
and I'll end my turn like that.
All right. Parthenax, you are up, and then Sela, you'll be on deck.
Can I see the problem, the troubled area?
Yeah, as soon as you move up around the corner, you spend like maybe 10 feet of movement to get up there just to see. And yeah, you can see inside. Hex is in there kind of helping light the place up a little bit.
I'm just gonna huck a firebolt at it. Just a quick snap.
Okay.
Does an 11 hit?
Yes.
Okay. That does a tasty 11 fire damage. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me confirm. It might be 9. I don't want to. Yeah, it's 9 fire damage.
Okay. Good hit. Is there anything else you want to do?
Bonus action. I say gross, and then I end my turn.
Okay. Sela, you're up, and then Everly will be on deck.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery at it.
It doesn't need a certain intelligence, right?
Yeah.
No, we determined that it does not.
It does not. No, you're right.
If the target can hear you, though it need not understand you, it must succeed a wisdom saving throw.
That's a 5. I'm sorry. No, that's actually 3.
3. Okay, so it fails its wisdom saving throw, so it'll take the damage.
Okay.
What the fuck?
That was weird.
Yes. Keep me out of my character sheet. 2d4. I can make it help. 2d4. That's a spicy 3,
Plus your spell modifier. Should be 4.
which is 3. So it's a total of 6 points of damage. It also has disadvantage on its next turn.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that'll end my turn.
Everly is up, and we'll say that I don't know where Sela's token went, but say she's kind of in the fray with Parthenax.
Pretty sure I'm still at the beginning of the map.
I scooted you forward at some point, but I don't know where actually.
She's by 2. She's by 2.
It's okay.
Oh, is it way back there? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, way back there.
Scylla actually just quit, guys. That's it.
Okay. It's Everly's turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, as Everly sees all this going on, she is gonna try to do a firebolt at this creature. It's going to be
Firing away.
it does a 18 hit.
Oh yeah.
That kind of sucks. 11 damage on that.
Nice.
And
Hit.
what's her bonus? Let me see.
I think her only bonus action is 2-weapon fighting, but
Oh, Blade Song. I'm gonna cast a Blade Song.
nice.
And That'll end her turn.
Okay. The Oakshire jelly is up, and it tries to get a swipe at Hex.
Disadvantage.
Yeah. For 14.
What was it?
Does a 14 hit?
It does not.
Okay. You're good. It's just gonna kind of try and move towards the wall and then kind of up it a little bit to try and go after Niken. And then it's Hex's turn with Niken on deck.
Okay. Can you remind me what Blade Song does?
This is you gain a +4 bonus to your AC. Your walking speed is increased by 10 feet. You have advantage on acrobatics checks, and you gain a +4 on bonuses to any con saving throws you make to maintain your concentration on a spell.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it does a lot.
Okay. So I'm going to take a 5 foot. I guess I would still be in the same square, but essentially Hex does take the hit, but he was a little bit more prepared this time, guarded correctly, so he didn't take any damage. You see him wind up, and you have 2 fire bolts coming your way.
Hell yeah.
So first one is going to be 24 to hit.
Definitely hits.
Will be 13 damage. Second one. Does an 11 hit?
Yes.
Okay.
These are not difficult to hit.
Okay, so you have a total of 19 damage as Hex braces the hit, steps forward. He's got a new thing with his sword, so he kind of lights both hands and he just throws 2 fire bolts for 19 damage.
Yeah. It is not looking great. It shrieks and just kind of squeals around as it still tries to climb up the side of the wall.
Okay, how high is it right now?
It just started. It's like maybe 5 feet off the ground.
We're going lunge crunch. Operation lunge crunch. He goes for it. Let's see. Clear. And within 5 feet, that's 1d8. I think it was base. 15 to hit.
Definitely.
Okay. Roll. That's wrong. Give me 1 second. 6.
Okay.
6 to hit. I'm sorry. He hits, does 6 damage.
Okay. Do you want to flavor this any particular way as he just shreds up the
Yeah.
rest of this jelly?
Heck yeah, I do. So the 2 fire bolts hit him. It's kind of like it hits perfectly on both sides and explodes and explodes. It weakens it a little bit. He takes his full action to jump in there, and it's like he bites kind of in the middle of the back, whatever that might look like, and it just turns to ooze, and he again is just like coughing out this nasty yellow gunk.
Nice. Good job. So the jelly is dead. And yeah, the door seems like it is slightly ajar. It's not even closed. I assume you guys investigate.
I would always check for traps.
Yeah, there are none. I will save you guys this one. The door is just totally open. But it is a storeroom, it looks like. There is a couple of kegs that are empty. It seems like there's not much else here. The orchestra was kind of just waiting for somebody to come by to eat it, or to eat. Up the hallway, you guys also have a kind of larger room. And it seems like from where you guys are, you can tell there's at least one dead body. Looks like another ghoul.
Blech. So many gross, slimy, smelly things in here.
Niken has no idea
Lots
what
of-
you're talking about.
Lots of dead things too.
Lots of dead things.
I hope these don't all come back to life. That's what I'm worried about.
I'm fairly confident.
You know, I wasn't worried about that until just now.
There's a lot of dead things here.
Let's not worry about things we don't have to worry about.
Well, if they weren't already revivifying them to use, maybe they won't.
Pretty sure you
Good
have
point.
to at least see the thing that raised it from the dead anyway, so.
Okay.
Do you-
So
anything?
with that cleared, do you want to head back to the room that we know is able to be safe? Do you want to keep going?
I think we need to rest up, even if for a little bit after Niken got oozed on.
Mhm.
You guys
I'd
do
agree.
have potions of healing that you guys are able to use. I think y'all might have had a couple beforehand, but then there's just the additional ones, and then Stella packed you all a bag with at least one potion of healing.
Sorry.
Parthenax, go give me a perception check real quick. Things have definitely quieted down a little bit as you guys have moved into this part of the forge. It is not quite as loud at the running water at the moment.
I got a 15.
You have that similar dragony kind of scent wafting down the hall, except it's heavily mixed with blood.
Okay, I'll say as much. Niken, go check it out.
Okay. Oops.
So you move up. As you descend down the hallway, you walk into this cavern that is very large, and it is just a bloodbath. Damn it, quit hiding stuff from me. I need to reveal it. It is just a bloodbath in here. There are several bodies laying around, very recently slain. You can see blood is still dripping from a couple of them. Like before, there were a couple of ghouls, but there's something else that you don't recognize kind of laying amongst the bodies.
Okay. So Hex would like to enter that room, kind of see what's going on, along with Ami.
Okay.
Can I do a investigation around this room? My thought process is maybe these kind of took over this cave. So I'm looking for any signs of, were they here? Have they been here? Um, do they seem new? Anything that might give me some indication to a little bit more about one, either what Parthenax's brother might be up to, or if it seems like they just came through and slaughtered these things.
Go ahead and make an investigation check. As you come into this room, though, you notice almost immediately that the bodies that are not ghouls are half dragons. These are half dragon orcs that seem to have fallen to the ghouls that were perhaps a little bit too much for them.
Aren't orcs and dragons
16.
on the different sides?
Let me read this little box real quick. Steep in escarpments.
Escapements.
There's an R in there. Steep is
Like a pirate.
Yeah, just steep escarpments. I don't really know. Divide this large cavern into 3 sections. High ledges at either end, and a lower section in the middle. Carved stone stairs climb up to the ledges. 2 large tables stand in the middle section, along with a pair of old braziers. Thank you. A small table stands on the eastern ledge. The skeletal remains of dozens of dead warriors, dwarves, gnomes, orcs, and ogres attest to the fierceness of the fighting that took place here. Among the ghouls, there are also like the skeletons of several gnomes and orcs and whatnot from long ago when the mine was functioning. The ghouls and the half dragons, though, are very, very recent.
Okay.
Did that answer any of your questions?
That answered pretty much everything. I was going to do a medicine check to see how old the body seemed, but got it.
Okay.
Are they still warm?
Yeah.
They're still warm. These guys have been dead less than 4 hours.
How do you know that?
I watch a lot of crime drama. I read a lot of crime novels when I was at home.
Mammals.
I'm pretty sure that you are warm too. Are you not?
Oh yeah, but I'm a dragon, so it's different.
But you would retain some warmth after death.
I feel like
Apparently, I cough
You-
up treasure when I die.
Oh, really? Well, keep that in mind.
okay.
Just in case I have to murder him later.
No, I need to remember that if Parthenax does die, that he just explodes into a bunch of coins like in
Treasure.
a video game.
Half dragons leave corpses. Dragonborn just gold. Everywhere gold.
Like hitting the lottery or the jackpot. But
Yeah, I
sadder.
sort of. I'm not feeling so good, Mr. Stark. But instead of ash, I just turn into coins. like all my gold scales just.
That's cool.
That's pretty effective, actually. That's a neat visual.
I've yet to try it, but this is what I've heard.
Okay. Red dragonborn turned into rubies, etc., etc.
Makes sense to me. I could see it.
Yeah, why not? All right, guys. Well, where from here?
So this mostly seemed like a grand hall that the gnomes and dwarves would use to kind of meet together, have their food and things like that. Doesn't really have a function for utility, but or for making magic items and stuff like that. But that's what they used a long time ago.
The mess hall, if you will.
Giving a look at the map that I've slowly become to figure out, I would say probably either up those stairs there Or we could try that way to the east. But I have a pretty good indication it's gonna go north.
I feel like the way to the big bad is straight ahead from where we are. It would be. I have a romantic idea that we find some sort of back route on that way to our right, but I just feel like another jelly is going to drop on Niken.
You might not be wrong.
I vote north.
Before we go up, how much does that potion do? I'm like almost halfway dead.
Just a regular healing potion.
The one that Stella got.
Potion of healing
much?
should be a D4 plus 4. I'm pretty sure.
Nice. Okay, 8.
2D4 plus 2.
Okay. Still 8. Okay.
That's funny.
Okay. I'm down by 20 still.
A superior potion of healing, which you guys have 3 of, that would be 8d4 plus 8. If you wanted to do that, I mean that's.
If we were going
I'll probably wait.
You sure?
Oh no, because
That's
I'm the one
quite
that's
a
probably gonna have to
bit.
do a first blow, right?
That's quite a bit of damage. I would recommend you take
Taking
one.
it. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
take one.
Do a superior healing potion.
How much is it, Nick? What
8D,
is it again?
8d4 plus 8.
Damn it. It's gonna pop up. It's taking forever. There we go. 17 plus 8, you said?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all of it. I'm complete.
nice.
I think that's worth it.
Yeah.
At this
Okay,
point,
I'm good.
we've been kind of running into stuff, and I don't want all of our squishy stuff to be dead by the time we actually reach Mr. Perthanax. So I'm going to summon a Fluffy now.
It lasts for
Okay.
8 hours.
Yeah, he does last for 8 hours. So
Okay, sure. He'll be my pet. I do like McFluffy.
he is
I don't
mine.
need to act to be affectionate towards him.
He has a psychic link with me, so
That doesn't mean I can't give him scritches.
Who doesn't like scratches?
that is fair. Kalen Brog O Sarn plural Sarn.
That's a thick L there.
It was huge.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I was
It
like, what?
It's gigantic. We are fine.
Have like effectively a god on your side.
Not quite that cool.
So you guys are taking the path to the north, right?
I would say north.
As you guys go up the set of stairs, you do notice that it kind of veers off to the left and veers off to the right. To the right, you guys can see it is another kind of larger open cavern. And there is what seems to be the body of a dead dwarf kind of laying at the doorway on your right. And then to your left, there is a door.
I'm gonna investigate the body. I got an 18.
As you walk up to it,
Another jelly. The story
You
right
prick.
now.
let me sure I'm on the right one. Yeah, as you go up to investigate the body, the dwarf animates, and a very thick hand reaches out towards you as it goes to grab at you, reanimating. So it makes a claw attack. Hold on. Gotta find the damn zombie stat. Natural 20.
Motherfucker.
Wow.
It only does 2d6. So it's not
I
like
was
it's
gonna say, you had a health potion?
Right.
for 5 plus so 8 points of damage.
Okay. I'm gonna use uncanny dodge on this. I would think Nikon would do it because he sees the target.
Yeah, totally. So you take 4 damage.
Great.
It does
Great
half, yeah.
move.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Damn it. Reveal. Quit hiding shit. No. Lycan just is the darkness now. Stop. Stop that. There we go. Okay, there we go. So yeah, you're able to see this dwarven zombie laying in wait as it slowly kind of starts to get up. You are able to see a very large, kind of strange contraption in this room that you don't recognize. There are also several other zombies that you can see kind of start to pay attention to you and sort of move in that direction.
Are they similar to like Skyrim, the Dwarven? I forget what
The
they're called.
Druger?
Yeah, the Druger.
So not necessarily. These are kind of like, well, maybe these are like magical zombies. It's not like a virus has affected them.
Have you played Skyrim?
No, we established this like episode 1.
Okay.
Oh, whoops. They're like,
They are magic zombies,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
but it's the Dwemer that are the dwarves. It's the Vikings that are the Druger.
Oh, are you talking about the ones that live underground?
I'm talking more about the ones that it's been a while for me too. The ones I
okay.
picture are the ones that are in the crypts that pop up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's talking about the
Or-
Druger. Yeah, not
Those
the
are
dwarf.
Viking
Yeah,
zombies. Those are zombie Vikings.
Zombie, but oh boy. Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
I played way too much Skyrim.
It's been a while, but I played a lot as well. Okay, well, Hex and Ami, of course, are running in here as soon as they hear Nikon takes the corner and there's a noise. They're running in.
Owl bear.
It's time.
Yeah, just send in the tank. Can I heal my owl bear?
I honestly don't think so, but
He's gotta have so many hit points. Maybe.
A5.
so are you guys all kind of heading into the room with Nikon? I'm assuming.
Mhm.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna move this back so you guys actually have room to get in. But as you guys do file in, you guys can see rising up from this strange machine is a skull engulfed in green flames that speaks in, God damn it, stop doing that. I'm clicking the reveal thing, but it's hiding shit. Whatever. It speaks in grave whispers tells you all, your presence is offensive to me. My treasures are mine. Your life forfeit. Or
Your
something.
breath is offensive to me.
Yeah, my treasures are mine, not yours to plunder. And it kind of just stands there waiting. I'm getting really annoyed about this. Stop hiding.
I'm going to reply, well, good news. We're not here for your treasure. We're here to kill the guy who's after your treasure.
It kind of stares at you, super intrigued.
Oh. I'll continue then.
Good news.
Yeah, see, we are here to take care of, oh, fuck.
That's what's staring at you right now, just so you know.
That's pretty cool.
We are here to confront Xanthar Parthenax, who is here to try and obtain the Forge of Spells.
We're here actually trying to clear up your problem. We're the contractors that you hired.
Persuasion check and then deception check.
Oh my god, if this works.
19.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
$16. I forgot I have a +9 to persuasion.
Okay. What is it that you have brought for me? Prove your truthfulness and value.
You got that?
Well, you don't want people here, and there are people here, namely a group of hooligans, and we are here to remove them. So we are doing you a service.
I'm gonna, hey Parthenax, can you give me my bounty paper back? Here I have written proof that Xanthar Parthenax is my mortal enemy. Okay. Hand it back to Zir.
Okay. This is agreeable. If you can kill the spectator that is deeper in the forge, I may be of assistance to you.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Normally, we only handle with trained professionals for accrue liabilities and such. You would have to assign a spectral waiver, of course, releasing us of any responsibility.
Ghostly OSHA gets involved. It's nasty.
Yeah. Oh, the insurance premiums are through the roof. Don't get me started. The small business owner shit. You know what? I'm not here to bother you with this, sir.
It kind of seemed confused, and the skull kind of like tilts to the side and just still floats there, a little confused, and just kind of shakes off whatever you're saying. And it says, "Destroy the spectator, or give up your lives to me."
Okay, well, we're going to be pulling a lot of people out of here. So if you could stand back, sir, we will handle it.
It kind of like starts just floating towards, just starts kind of floating in this direction, and then just like disappears.
Whew.
The dwarven zombies just all stand there, kind of hunched over, just glaring at you guys, like drooling, just gnarly, kind of swaying back and forth, just staring, not making.
Working harder, harder working, boys. You know what I'm talking about? All right, after party. Next room, come on.
I think that turned out better than we could have planned.
Woo. I wiped non-existent sweat off my brow. Dragons don't sweat.
Fantastic. Yep, we're just moving right through here.
Okay.
Yeah, excuse me, pardon me, coming through.
I never thought that bounty would be so useful.
So as you guys do move up towards this section of the hallway, Parthenax, you do get that dragony kind of scent again. Seems like it's coming from the hallway up ahead.
While we are in this room, you said there's something bizarre here.
Oh, okay. So sorry, that I probably didn't read that.
I would like to investigate if
Yeah. A blast furnace and a mechanical bellow powered by a water wheel dominate this large chamber. The furnace is cold and dark, but heaps of coal are piled nearby, along with carts full of unrefined ore. The water wheel sits on a 10-foot wide channel cut into the floor of the room, but the channel is dry. Passages exist to the west, south, and east. The empty channel exits to the north and east.
I guess if we don't want to take the channel, we take the doorways.
So that is kind of where you guys are going right now. That is kind of the waterway channel.
There's even the off chance that this could fill with water. We don't want to be in a channel.
Oh gosh, good point.
And with that, a
Um,
huge wave of water comes around the, no.
Yeah.
I was like, can I feel if it's wet ground, if it's muddy, if it's
Oh, it's dry. It's absolutely dry.
okay.
Traps be traps, though.
Oh boy.
I feel like we might want to explore this path. If this is where the water was running through and it's not, this might be a derelict aqueduct or something. Maybe, here's me hoping, we follow this and then we get a view of them from a distance, the people we're looking for.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I can go check it out.
Why don't we just send the bear first?
He's not very stealthy now, is he? No, is he?
He does have advantages on perception checks, though.
Because the bear can smell.
He has advantage on sight and smell perception checks.
You don't have a mental link with him, do you?
I do.
Yeah.
I have a psychic link with him. So
Send McFluffy.
yeah, I can see everything he sees.
More or less.
Yep.
Yeah, McFluffy goes ahead, up ahead a little bit. Go ahead and roll a perception check with advantage.
14 is plus 3, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Okay. You get the signals kind of psychically sent back to you that there are orcs and dragons up ahead.
All right,
Cool.
McFluffin seeing orcs and dragons. Probably those half dragon things we saw earlier dead in the other room. I tell McFluffy to stop.
Dragons, plural.
Yeah.
Yes, he's smelling multiple scents.
And not dragonborns.
No, it's
Dragons.
very distinctly orc dragon. So like the half dragons we saw earlier. Is my guess.
Orc dragons.
Yeah, half orc dragons. Dragon half
Okay.
orcs.
That's okay. Orc dragons is one thing compared to orcs and dragons.
Okay, I see where you're going with it. Yeah, the way I
Yes.
said it can be kind of confusing.
Okay,
The owlbear doesn't know of half dragons and that they would be one thing.
so he just smells orc
so
dragon.
He's yeah.
His intelligence isn't super high.
Gotcha.
It's in fact
Uh,
-4. So I am interpreting what he is telling me as there are orc and dragon. Might be difficult to fit a whole dragon in here, though.
I'm. Did I mean? Would you see what he saw? Does it give us any vision? I'm not sure on that.
You have a psychic link, but it's mostly like just having
Feelings.
getting the senses that McFluffy does. It's not even really
Screw
like
it.
full language.
Yeah, he can communicate me. He can communicate with me as far as he can. It's not like I can look through his eyes. That's a
Yeah.
different spell.
We're gonna sneak up here just a little bit to see a little bit more.
You can see that it's a pretty open room, fairly dark. There is a small river kind of running through here. You feel like that's a really good thing because otherwise it would have been easy to see, or goddamn it, easy to hear you kind of creeping around the corner and stuff. But there are definitely, from what you can see, at least 3 half dragons kind of hanging around, standing guard, sort of patrolling the area, trying to make sure everything stays kosher.
So we will sneak back a little bit here and I will let the team know of this, kind of what I've seen, what to expect. I do apologize. I need to drop off here pretty quickly. The time got away from me a little bit.
It's okay. I was gonna say we're probably gonna
Same.
call it here anyway.
Right before combat's a good place to end.
Yeah.
Cool.
It doesn't seem like they notice you or the owlbear, but
I was gonna say, I purposely went behind the owlbear. So if they didn't see that, I figured I'd be okay.
I
Yeah.
basically told McFluffy, stay,
yeah.
shh, stay, quiet.
So we'll pick up here next week with you guys kind of teetering right on the edge of this little channel, kind of looking into the next room, figuring out what's going on. Good game, guys. I hope all of you guys have an awesome week. If you have any questions, let me know. And don't forget to make yourselves versions of yourselves into characters for the one shot in a couple weeks. Or actually, that'll be next week, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So next week we'll be doing that, and then we'll join up here on the 1st of November.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Have a good one.
You two guys.
See you
you next
guys.
time.
Guys, bye.
Bye.